Picture a standard Tuesday at a coffee shop. A guy walks in, rushes to the counter, and taps his foot while he waits. He's scanning the room, checking his phone every 10 seconds, looking like he's hunting for validation. He's trying to look busy, but he just looks loud. Even in his silence, his energy screams, I am uncomfortable being here. Then another guy walks in. He takes a second to look around before joining the line. He stands still, shoulders relaxed, and just exists. He isn't performing. He's just comfortable in his own skin. Every eye in the room feels him more, yet he's the one trying the least. I've been that first guy. I remember standing in rooms, repeating be confident like a mantra while my heart was hitting 110 BPM. I followed the hacks, but I still felt invisible. Or worse, creepy. Most advice tells you to act like the second guy. They give you a list of habits to mimic, but if your body is in a state of high alert, those habits will always look like a cheap performance. Your body language tells the truth even when your mouth lies. Presence isn't a body language hack, it's a nervous system signal. If your internal wiring is screaming, no amount of alpha posing is going to save you. We've all seen the lists: stand like this, look like that, move like an alpha. But social interaction isn't a static photograph. It's a real-time data exchange between two mammalian brains. Evolution has spent millions of years tuning our sensitivity to threat. We have something called mirror neurons. They allow us to feel the internal state of the person in front of us. When your biology is screaming, I'm terrified, while you're trying to hold alpha eye contact, you create the uncanny valley of body language. It feels off. It feels performative. The human brain processes social signals in about 0.05 seconds. That's faster than you can think of a clever line. If she senses a mismatch between your slow movements and your rapid, shallow breathing, her brain flags you as inauthentic. I spent years thinking fake it till you make it was the path. I didn't realize that the more you fake it, the more you damage the very thing you're trying to build: trust. The cost of faking it: you're so busy monitoring your shoulders that you forget to notice the woman right in front of you. Authentic attraction isn't about being perfect, it's about being regulated. Most advice stops at stand up straight, but the real power is in signaling safety to your own brain. When you intentionally slow your body down, you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system. You're essentially telling your amygdala, there are no predators here, so we can relax. The first habit is simple: slow your movements by 10%. Walk a little slower. Turn your head slower. Most guys move like they're in a race they're losing. They fidget, bounce their legs, and check their phones like it's an oxygen mask. When you slow down, you stop looking like you're hunting for validation. Have you ever noticed how a guy looks when he's trying to disappear into his phone? Then there's the 1 second rule for eye contact. Don't stare like you are desperate, and don't look away like you are guilty. Just hold it for 1 extra second, give a small half smile, and then relax. I started practicing this with waiters and baristas. It wasn't about dominating them, it was about showing I was comfortable being seen. The shift in how they treated me was immediate because I stopped looking like I was in a rush to leave. Habit 3. Own your space. Not to dominate, but to show you're not hiding. It's about keeping your chest open and your hands visible. A man who feels safe doesn't need to shield his vital organs or hide his hands. Imagine you're waiting for a date. You could be hunched over your screen, thumb scrolling at 100 miles per hour. Or you can just sit back, let your arms rest, and observe the room. One guy looks like he's waiting for permission to exist. The other guy looks like he belongs in the space. If you don't master these physical signals, you'll spend the whole night overcompensating with words. That's the trade-off. You either lead with your presence, or you spend the rest of the night trying to talk your way out of a needy energy. The physical habits are the handshake. These internal habits are the contract. If your body is slow but your mind is frantic, your calm will still feel like a cheap costume. Habit 4 is to speak slower and say less. When we're nervous, we explain and justify because silence feels like an indictment. Silence is where your words actually land. Personally, I used to talk nonstop just to avoid the dead air. I was exhausted, and honestly, so was everyone else. I didn't realize that the person who can let a moment breathe is the one who actually holds the power. Next, stop chasing the room's energy. The guy women notice isn't the loudest laugher or the one hijacking the conversation. He's present and reacts naturally. Needy energy is loud. Confident energy is quiet. If you're okay being slightly underreactive, people actually lean in to hear you. Habit 6 is about real-time standards. Most men are nice because they're afraid to lose access, so they tolerate flakes and disrespect. But attraction turns into respect when you have boundaries. If she puts in 20%, you don't give 120% to compensate. You match the energy. Calm boundaries don't push the right women away. They make them feel safe because they know you aren't a doormat. Finally, have momentum. Women notice men moving toward a purpose, whether it's a career, health, or a mission. When your life is empty, her attention becomes your oxygen. You check your phone every 5 minutes and overthink every comma in a text. But when you have direction, she's joining a journey that was already moving. If you make a woman your only purpose, you don't just lose her, you lose your own gravity. You become a satellite orbiting her life, and satellites are never the center of attention. You can't think your way into calm, you have to breathe your way there. Everything we've discussed, the eye contact, the slower movements, is governed by your vagus nerve. This is the body's internal social engagement switch. When it's off, you look like a glitching robot. When it's on, you look like a leader. I don't have some superhuman ability to stay cool. I just learned a physical trick. Before you walk into a room, check your jaw. Most of us carry tension there without realizing it. When your jaw is tight, your brain thinks you're in a fight. Relaxing it sends an instant signal to your amygdala that you are safe. Then, use the 4-7-8 technique. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. It sounds like health class filler, but it's actually basic math. Doing this for just 60 seconds can drop your heart rate by 10 to 15 beats per minute. That drop is the difference between a voice that cracks and a voice that carries. When your heart rate is down, those 7 habits stop being things you do and start being things you are. You aren't acting calm anymore. You are calm. Physiology first, psychology second. A man who can actually self-regulate in a world full of anxiety is a rare, high-value resource. You have 2 choices. Option 1, stay on the treadmill of hacks and hope nobody notices you're exhausted. It's a performance that inevitably leads to burnout. Then there's the resilience path. When you regulate the machine inside, you gain the ultimate prize, optionality. You stop begging for attention because your presence generates it naturally. You move from a man waiting for a woman to give his life meaning to a man whose life is already a journey worth joining. Real presence is not about acting cool. It is about training your nervous system to be comfortable in your own skin. You stabilize the machine inside, and the habits, moving slower, holding eye contact, and having a life with momentum, become your natural default. You do not need to be the best looking or the loudest guy in the room to stand out. Don't try to do all 7 at once. Pick one physical habit, like slowing your movement, and one internal standard to work on this week. Which one do you struggle with most? Comment one word below. Movement, eye contact, or momentum. Don't just act differently. Show up differently. I will see you in the comments.